Guys, it's Brandon from Theme Park Predictions, and this is my Q&A video. And I'm really excited to answer all your guys' questions. That way you guys can learn a little bit more about myself. So instead of doing the whole entire video of just me on the screen, I've actually recorded the audio. That way you guys can watch roller coasters, POVs, as well as see your questions pop up. So thank you guys so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Now let's get 4,000 subscribers. That way we can continue growing the channel. And I just wanted to say welcome to the Theme Park Predictions family. Coaster Horizons. Besides being an enthusiast, what are some of your other hobbies of yours? When I am not visiting a park, I obviously love working and growing my channel. Traveling, cooking, the beach, exploring new places, hanging out with my 18-month-old son, and enjoying time with my wife as well as sports. Space Boy, do you think Great Adventure will get another coaster drought after Jersey Devil? No, I think that the Jersey Devil was a step in the right direction for this park. Now with COVID though, everything is up in the air. The Coaster Scorpion, when did you become a coaster enthusiast? Probably after my first visit to Kings Island with my mom back in 1990. Her company held their annual picnics at the park, and so we went every summer. And my father taking my sister and I to Cedar Point from 1993 until 2000, as well as riding Raptor when it opened in 1994. Who are your favorite manufacturers? RMC and Intamin. Which B&M coaster do you think would be the king of airtime and why? Well, for me, the best B&M Hyper or Giga that I've ridden and showcased the best airtime would be Mako and Fury. Coaster Sally. Did you work the Beast Crew in 2004? Yep, Beast and Scooters, which was the Flying Eagles. I worked there from April until the end of the season. Zoe Lanu, what are your most anticipated European parks? Phantasialand, Europa, and Energylandia. Most anticipated German coaster, Expedition GeForce and Terran. Would you ever come to Africa? I would love to visit Africa, but it wouldn't be for the coasters obviously. Lone asked, what makes NF a good artist? I first discovered NF back in 2017 and really connected to him as well as his music. If you don't know who NF is, you probably have heard him from his main song, Let You Down. And he is a hip hop artist, so he can rap as well as he can even sing. And every one of us suffers with a form of depression or memories of something that we don't like to think about. And the fact that he doesn't have to curse in his music is really cool, especially if any of you who like hip hop, I highly recommend checking him out. His slogan is real music, and to me, everything about his music is meaningful. Plus, his producer Tommy Profit is insanely awesome and produces some amazing theatrical beats. Max Hagenauer, do you prefer Intamin Giant or Gyro Drop Towers? Gyro. Favorite Gerstlauer Eurofighter? Mystery Mine. B&M Dive Coaster or Vekoma Boomerangs? Come on Max, if I don't ever have to ride a Vekoma Boomerang coaster again in my life, I will die happy. Someone234, if you were to build a new theme park with 5 coasters, semi-realistic, what would they be and why? A GCI wooden coaster, an RMC hybrid that's over 200 feet tall, an Intamin Blitz coaster, a good mine train, and a spinning Gerstlauer coaster. A nice balance that would provide my guests with a great overall day. Coaster Keychain. Which theme park would you call the kingdom of airtime? Also, your videos are awesome. Congrats on the 3,000 subs. Thank you. Cedar Point and Holiday World. Both feature coasters with insane airtime. Luke Cowling. What manufacturer's track is the most visually appealing to you? I'm really starting to fall in love with Intamin's newest track design. Ookum Dookum. What would be your perfect park day? High 70s, partly cloudy, no lines. If you could do a meetup with a bunch of YouTubers and pick a park, who and where would be there? I would say Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and I would invite all my 3,400 subscribers. Boston Martinez. Upcoming trips or events? Well, due to COVID, all of my trips have been canceled, and those were Florida, Texas, Virginia, Massachusetts, as well as Ohio. And you could probably pinpoint the exact parks based on the region that I was traveling to. However, I was able to do Kings Island, Knoebels, as well as the parks in Southern California, as well as the attractions in Vegas in March. It is hard to travel when you have an 18-month at home, but Caitlin and I will bring Mason to Dollywood hopefully in December. But next year, I'm already in the planning stages for some trips. Favorite flat ride? Scream and Swing. For Sale Death asks, what is your first and most recent coaster credit? Beastie and Orion. Crispy Chicken, how many credits do you have? 367. What is your favorite steel and wooden coaster? Steel Vengeance and Lightning Rod. Coaster Cass, if you could visit 5 parks in Europe, what would they be? Alton Towers, Phantasialand, Port Aventura, Europa, as well as Energylandia. Nathan Graveson, if If you could build a park, what rides would you add? Well, everything's within a budget, of course, so I would say a hyper coaster, a wooden coaster, a B&M inverted coaster, a good mine train, as well as a nice family coaster. Add some thrill rides, as well as a great water park. Hedgehog coasters. What is the most underrated wooden coaster that you've ever ridden? I would have to say probably American Thunder at Six Flags St. Louis. Coaster countdowns. What country would you like to visit for a week and why? Well, it's not really a country, but I would love to visit Australia, because they have beautiful beaches, awesome wildlife, and DC rivals. If Intamin would ever build an Intamin prefab again, what parks should get one? Six Flags Magic Mountain, Cedar Point, Energylandia. Eddie asks, what is your favorite sport? Basketball to play, football to watch. Gravity Group or GCI? GCI. What editor do you use? I have an iMac, so I use Final Cut Pro X. Daydrango. If you can bring back one defunct coaster, what would it be? Hands down, the villain at Six Flags World of Adventure. That coaster was fantastic. Crazy Man 24. Best coaster and park in Pennsylvania. Now that's not a fair question to ask, so I'm gonna skip it. Just joking. But there's so many good parks. I would have to say Knoebels and Hershey Park. My favorite steel coaster in Pennsylvania will be Skyrush, and my favorite wood would be Phoenix. Future325 and KI Fanboy asks, what is your favorite lift hill anti-rollback sound? Any wooden coaster. Do you think Kings Island should get an RMC coaster or a Mach in Vortex's spot? I think a Mach would be a better fit, but I think a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster would be the best fit overall in this location. Do you think Invertigo will get removed? Yes, probably by 2025. What is your favorite coaster channel? Honestly, right now, I'm so busy with mine and perfecting my videos as well as creating new content because each time I do a video, it takes around 6 hours and I try to do a video every other day. So I really don't have a whole lot of time to watch other people's content at the moment. Kale's Coasters. Do you think Cedar Fair would be the best chain for enthusiasts if they didn't buy Paramount? Or would Paramount or Six Flags be better? I think it would still be Cedar Fair and Six Flags always at the top. Takeroo Kyle, what would you like to see replace Vortex and what do you think will actually replace it? I would love an RMC T-Rex, but I think a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster or a Mach multi-launch coaster was probably what you're going to see come to the park in this location. Have I ever been to Great Adventure? Yes, dozens of times. What do I think Great Adventure needs to become a better park? Better management, park improvements, and less dead ends. What will the park get after Jersey Devil? I could see something like West Coast Racers working really well at this park. Do you think Great Adventure is the best park in the chain? Honestly, no. It's near the bottom for me. This park needs a lot of work, but has a ton of potential. And I'm talking about the overall park experience and the overall park, not just the coasters, because that's a different story. Zach's question, if you could choose one new home park outside of the US, what would it be? Energylandia. Most underrated and overrated coaster manufacturer. Underrated is Mach, overrated is B&M. Crappiest park you've ever been to? Six Flags America back in 2007. Austin Dreyer, what kind of coaster in the next 5 years do you think Kings Island will add to replace Vortex? Gerstlauer Infinity. Coaster Insights, which coaster manufacturer do you hate and love the most? I don't hate any really. I do hate the old school Vekoma, so I'm glad that they've really turned things around, and I do enjoy Intamins and RMCs the most. Superior Fox, what is the most unique coaster that you've ever ridden before? Flying Turns at Knoebels. What was the strangest park you've ever been to? Indiana Beach, because that place is awesome, but random. Gabe's the Bomb. What countries have you visited theme parks in? Just America, but I'm hoping to change that soon. Noah Berlin. Are you a sports fan? Do you like the teams in Charlotte? I'm a huge sports fan and have been a fan of both the Hornets and Panthers for over 20 years now, so I'm not a bandwagon fan. What would you say is the best paced coaster that you've ever ridden? Wonder Woman at Fiesta. It's 30 seconds of WTF. What defunct coaster that you haven't ridden would you want to ride the most? That's really tough. Probably Roar at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom or the Steel Phantom at Kennywood. Plasma GD. Do you think Six Flags is ever working with B&M again? Hopefully down the road, but I would be perfectly fine if they never worked with them again. What parks outside of the US could Six Flags buy? None. Six Flags needs to clean up their own crap before they buy other parks. Nicholas Tipton. What is the best and worst coaster that you've ridden? The best was Steel Vengeance and the worst would be the Big Apple coaster in Vegas. Tips on how to become a coaster enthusiast. Be passionate about the industry and respectful to the parks and others. Woohoo's question. What are some of the coasters you are looking forward to riding most in Europe? Expedition GeForce, Wildfire, Helix, Terran, Hyperion, Lek, and Zadra. Cash register. Would you rather have your number one coaster be destroyed or 3 coasters in your top 10 destroyed? Well, since my current number 1 is Steel Vengeance, then I choose to destroy that, since Fury is 10 minutes from my house. What is your first launch coaster? Flight of Fear at Kings Island in 1996. What is your favorite RMC? Steel would be Steel Vengeance and wood would be Lightning Rod. What is your favorite launch coaster? Lightning Rod and Maverick. Braden Berneski, what independent park is your favorite? Kentucky Kingdom, Lagoon, or Holiday World? Well, I've never been to Lagoon yet, so I'd have to say Holiday World. CSX Doolittle, what do you think Cedar Point will build in the coming years? I think the park will build a new wooden coaster as their next coaster, or Gerstlauer Infinity. Brady M, do you think Hershey Park should RMC Wildcat or Lightning Racer? Wildcat. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. Out of 1 through 10, what would you rank the following parks? Six Flags Great America, I'll give it an 8.5. Holiday World, an 8. Kings Island, a 9. Cedar Point, 9.5. Intensity Thrills, would you rather have all the coasters in Europe or Asia? I'm gonna have to go with Europe on this one. No-Cal Attractions, would you rather see a Mach or B&M Hyper for California's Great America? B&M only because I want this coaster to be focused on airtime. Intamin or S&S Drop Towers? Intamin all the way. CP Coaster Productions, what do you think is better, Renegade at Valley Fair or Prowler at Worlds of Fun? I've only ridden Prowler, so Valley Fair is on my list of parks to visit with the next few years. Creek Freak Massacre Fanboy, predict the best coaster in the UK is. I'm gonna have to go with Nemesis. That ride just looks very intriguing to me. Roller Coaster Rider, would you ever consider doing reactions to coaster videos? Maybe, I'm always thinking about future video concepts. Joshua Pritchard, what are your coaster milestones? 100, 200, and 300. I have never really kept track of this, believe it or not, so I have no idea. Hopefully not an SLC or a Boomerang. CT Coasters, what are your favorite non-coaster related YouTube channels? Well, my 18-month-old son loves watching Dude Perfect, but if I'm not on daddy duty, then it's watching reaction videos to NF or haunted house videos so I can get some ideas for my home haunts. Polar Productions, what type of coaster should Holiday World get next? I would love to see a Vekoma Bermuda Blitz here. Meme Central, if you could ride only rides from one manufacturer, which one would it be? RMC. Raimundo Laguna, favorite roller coaster at each Six Flags park, Cedar Fair, and SeaWorld parks. That's a great video idea, so I will save my answers for that. Layla Jones, thoughts on Six Flags St. Louis. This park has so much potential. Love the setting of it. Silver Dollar City or Dollywood? That is tough, but I'm gonna have to go with Silver Dollar City. David Pipemeyer, what is your most rare or uncommon credit? Probably Batman and Robin the Chiller at Great Adventure or the Screeching Eagle at Americana. Brent Wheelant asks, favorite sports teams and why? Well, even before I moved to Charlotte in 2014, the Panthers and Hornets were always my favorite teams ever since I was a little teenager. And man, I feel old now. Coasting with Culture, which country would you like to visit most for their coasters? Germany. Andrea Casaselli, if you could choose what manufacturer would build every new coaster including the kid and family, who would you choose? Intamin. King R. Laser, what was your worst amusement park experience? Well, I lost my keys going up the lift hill of Batman Night Flight at Six Flags World of Adventure in 2004, and that ended up being a very costly mistake. Brickman26 Levi, what is your favorite RMC? Steel Vengeance. Sasha Goldenstein, worst coaster you've ever been on? Son of Beast, Last Row. Neon Extract, what do you think the markers are for Cedar Point and for Kings Island? Cedar Point, I think it's early prep work for a new coaster. Kings Island is nothing ride related for the park. When do I think Cedar Point, Kings Island, Knott's Berry Farm, and CGA will get their next coaster? Stay tuned to my coaster prediction videos. Scott Carpenter, why did you decide to start your YouTube channel? For the last 5 years, I had a website for businesses in Florida to advertise on. And well, COVID kind of messed that up, obviously. And since I've always loved to predict what parks we're going to get, as well as where in the park it makes most sense, I figured why not do a prediction channel? Now I know I might be older than most of the other people that you guys watch, but I like to think that I provide good as well as well thought out predictions. Aaron S06, can you do more videos about European parks? Yes, I am starting to do more. Unfortunately, they are not as popular as my other videos, so everyone watching this, please watch my international videos, because you get to learn about some really awesome parks, and for those of you who do not live in America, I ask that you consider sharing my content, so that way more people in your country will be able to see it. Thank you. What do you think about Phantasialand? I think it looks like one of the best overall parks in the world. What is your favorite kind of force on a roller coaster? Any forces that result in airtime. Swiss Cheese, what is your favorite flat ride? Scream and Swing. Adrian's Creations, what is your favorite and least favorite Six Flags coaster? Favorite El Toro, least favorite Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis. Zach's question is, what is your home park? Carowinds, I live 10 minutes away and I can actually see my neighborhood going up Fury's Lift Hill. Kayla asks you, do you have plans to come to the UK in the future? Yes, one of my good buddies, Chris, runs the Tower Times channel, so I need to go visit him as well as the parks out there. Katie Carlton, what are some of your favorite coaster manufacturers? Intamin, RMC, Mach. Mr. Goldman, what park is better, Six Flags Great America or Magic Mountain? Well, I'm going to have to ask what park I would rather visit, and that would be Great America. They might not have as good of coasters, but the park is so much better ran than Magic Mountain is. And to me, that results in a more enjoyable experience for myself. Bad Skills Entertainment, what is your favorite coaster model? I love Intamins as well as RMCs, but one model in particular that I wish there was more of is the Intamin Impulse coasters. Flowjector coasters, Pantheon or Velocicoaster? Well, due to the sheer theming, Velocicoaster looks absolutely amazing. Both look like top 10 rides. Millennium Force or Intimidator 305? I-305 all day. Best Beyond Vertical Drop, Hang Time. Role plays, what park would you put a Mach Hyper in? Any, they look like fantastic rides, and I love how they can include a few inversions. So you can pair this with another Hyper that's at the park to really complement each other. How's your family? Doing great, thank you so much for asking, though I am tired of changing diapers. NES Man, what is your favorite and least favorite coaster model? Anything Intamin and a Vekoma Boomerang. Piece of Garbage, when will you visit Six Flags Great Adventure? I've been there many times, but I will go back once Jersey Devil opens. Brunco Pops, do you think Las Vegas should have an amusement park? I think what they already have is great. Circus Circus has 2 awesome coasters, they just need some more rides now. Taylor Dively, if you could choose only one park in Tennessee, Kentucky, or Indiana, which one would it be? Dollywood. New England Coaster Enthusiast, what is your rarest coaster? I'm gonna have to go with the Screeching Eagle at Americana. Worst park in America? I don't think any park is bad, it's the management team that is bad. Badger State Coasters, what is my favorite Six Flags park? Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Favorite Cedar Fair park? Michigan's Adventure. Favorite SeaWorld park? Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And by the way, I'm just kidding about the Michigan's Adventure part. My favorite Cedar Fair park would be Cedar Point, of course. Lightning Rod or Steel Vengeance? If it's a night ride, Lightning Rod every time. But during the day, Steel Vengeance. Millennium Force Band. What is your favorite train design? Mock trains that are on Copperhead Strike. What is your favorite color scheme on a coaster? I love Raptors. I love the bright green track and dark green supports against the blue sky. It's absolutely beautiful. Ellie Cipriano, when and why did you decide to create your channel? Excellent question. And it's a funny story. I actually created it in August of 2019, but was nervous about getting on the mic and I hate my voice anyways, so I made a few videos and they sucked. So I forgot about it until the virus came, and then I thought if I can't visit a park, I might as well talk about the parks and my predictions. What do you think the maximum height that you think could be reached on a closed circuit coaster? I think it's more a matter of how much the parks want to spend more than the actual height. I think we could see a 700-foot tall drop on a coaster one day, and yes, I would definitely ride it. August Castelli, what are your most overrated and underrated coasters? Overrated was Orion. It's a fun ride, but way too much hype for what it was, and I got 4 rides on it front and back. Underrated will be Copperhead Strike. I know it's new, it's not very tall, or it doesn't go very fast, but this coaster is just plain fun. Hedgehog Coasters. What is the most underrated and overrated park that you've ever been to? Underrated would be Kentucky Kingdom. This park is just plain fun. And overrated would be any Disney park. Sorry, but I'm not a Disney kind of guy. Jitney64. Do you think Six Flags is going bankrupt at the moment? I think that Six Flags is actually in better shape than we all give them credit for. I think they are fine and will be fine. Nathan Graveson. If you can ask me to design a coaster from Intamin for your home park, what elements and theming would you have? Well, let's just say if Maverick and Pantheon had a baby, then that's what I would want. A massive Blitz coaster to come to Carowinds with some awesome water features, tunnels, as well as great overall theming. Andrew Satas, will you be doing a top 25 soon? Yes, it's in the works. What is the best park you've ever been to? Cedar Point and Knoebels. Is my family into roller coasters as much as I am? My father would always take me as a kid to Cedar Point, and my wife loves them as well, even though she doesn't want to admit it all the time. And my 18-month-old son always says "wee" when he sees a coaster on the TV. Jordan Animations. Do I think Fury is overrated? No, this coaster really is special. Tommy Train. Best food park you've ever had? Aunt Granny's Buffet at Dollywood. Warrior Pug. What is the first coaster you've ever rode? I think it was the Beastie at Kings Island. Dive Loop Thrills. How has being an enthusiast impacted your life the most? Well, if it wasn't for me working at Kings Island in 2004 as well as 2005, and meeting my friends that were visitors as well as my coworkers, then I would never have met my wife or any of my current friends 16 years later. Coasterland asked, what is my #1 bucket list coaster? I'd have to go with Zadra. Robot Boy 1010 asked, Are you ever going to go to other continents to ride coasters? Of course, once my son is old enough. What coaster grew you into an enthusiast? Probably Raptor. I went to Cedar Point for the first time in '93, but then I saw the promo for the new ride on the brochure for the '94 season that says Raptor rules the sky, and I knew I had to get back to the point to ride it. Ryan Gomes, what are your thoughts on the S&S Axis coaster? Which park do I think will get it first? They look really fun and very unique, and I would have to say either Great America or Fiesta Texas. Snapback Grandma. Do I think the Pacific Northwest will get a major park soon? No, I think the parks they have should expand into better parks first. Coaster Cloud. What was my home park growing up? Americana and Kings Island. And the Coaster Man. What was my favorite coaster trip growing up? Well, my two buddies and I did 8 parks in 4 days. We did Hershey and Dorney, then Great Adventure and Maury's, then Six Flags New England and Lake Compounce, as well as Six Flags America and Kings Dominion. Though we were never supposed to do New England as well as Lake Compounce, that was a spur of the moment, last second decision as we left Maury's Piers that night. We drove all the way through New York City at 3 in the morning, slept in our cars, got to New England first thing in the morning, and it was a great day. Noah Conrad, what is your most anticipated coaster? Iron Gwazi. Jason Wright, what is your favorite coaster at Great Adventure? El Toro. Favorite flat ride at the park? Zumanjaro. Florida Coaster Enthusiast, what is your favorite coaster model? Anything RMC or Intimate. FBG aka Fire Blazing Gaiman, what do you think of Discovery Kingdom? I think it's a great park with a nice mix of everything. Whit Evans, what is your top 10 bucket list coasters? There's a new video on that coming this month. So I want to personally say thank you to everyone who asked the question. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support for the channel, and I will do whatever I can to keep growing it as well as provide great quality content for you. Thank you so much.